You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, don't look now. Don't look now, but it looks like, if I am reading this correctly, and if my understanding of the previous CBA is correct, and somebody may come back and correct me, but it looks like the WNBA finally turned a profit in 2025. And these numbers were released, though, here's the problem. The numbers were released by the Players Union. So it makes me wonder, is the WNBA ownership, the NBA ownership, Adam Silver, actually going to release all the entire figures? But they made enough money to finally, for the first time ever, trigger an actual revenue share for the players. And that news just broke this morning. I'm not sure what this proves, because what if the league made $25 million profit? I mean, are we here to consider that to be good? What if they made $50 million profit? I still don't consider. I mean, when you consider what most other sports are making, are we to consider that to have been good? Because they get a revenue share, it's my understanding, after expenses get paid. So it's like a net revenue share. And the players finally got it. The players finally got it, again, under the current CBA. For the first time in history, the WNBA generated enough income in 2025 to trigger revenue sharing with its players, union leadership told ESPN on Sunday. I still don't understand how this is a public relations win for the players, because the players have been telling us they're broke. So now we're finding out. And by the way, the players got a big ass chunk out of their players union licensing agreement too. Between both figures, it was actually $17.25 million to split up. So the players haven't been as broke as they've let on. So I guess I don't understand. I mean, we still don't know exactly how much profit over and beyond they made. My guess would be at least probably $20 million to have triggered this. Union leaders said the league notified player leadership earlier this month that they hit the benchmark. 13 teams will receive a total of $8 million from the league to disperse amongst players, the union said. The Women's National Basketball Players Association declined to provide bank statements. The amount of revenue generated by the league are the number required to trigger the revenue sharing. The WNBA declined to comment on payments on Monday. The revenue targets in the 2020 CBA were based on 2019 revenue numbers and compounded by 20% across subsequent years. The COVID-19 pandemic depressed revenue in 2020 and 2021, seemingly making the cumulative targets out of reach. The announcement by the union comes amid contentious negotiations between the league and the players for a new CBA. Revenue sharing and salary continue to be sticking points. Okay, let's put this out there first. Let us also understand that if they did turn a profit, this was the first time in history, ever. And if you think that doesn't make these owners nervous, that this was like a one-time hit, that this is not going to have legs, that this is not going to keep going, and I'm sure they're a little worried about the fact that, Caitlin Clark got hurt. They've only got one player that's driving all this. All these players, you should send all this money to Caitlin Clark. To be honest, under the 2020 CBA, players would receive a 50% of shared revenue defined in the CBA as the amount of revenue over a predetermined threshold minus 30% for expenses. In 2025, the players' portion of shared revenue amounted to about $16 million, according to the union. Of that, $8 million will be paid to players who are active in 2025, the union said. As mandated by CBA, the other $8 million will be allocated to the league's marketing agreements, which are off-season initiatives offered to some players to promote the league and its partners. The union and league have repeatedly declined to specify the amount of revenue needed to trigger the sharing, so we don't exactly know. According to the CBA, the union has 30 days to present its proposed payment structure to the league. The union leaders said they expect to submit their proposal in the next 2 weeks. The league's payment is due 60 days after it issued its report to the union, according to the CBA. Union leaders also said on Sunday they will be divvying up $9.25 million to players from licensing revenue generated since 2020. Oh, since 2020. Jersey sales, trading cards, video games, and other merch. The union expects to share that money by June 1st. Quote, I'm just hopeful that this distribution gives a little bit of comfort and a lot of confidence in what we're doing. WNBPA Executive Director Terry Jackson told ESPN. Those payments will be determined by years played from 2020 to 2025, with a maximum of $50,000 to players who were active each season. More than 250 players are expected to receive payments, including players who have been retired or been released. The union previously dispersed $280,000 in licensing revenue to players who played during 2016 to 2019, with a maximum of $1,600 per player. So are they saying $9.25 million in 2020 to 2025? So it wasn't just, maybe it was last year. Nah, I don't know. See, that's hazy. The union began pursuing group licensing in 2018 at the direction of outgoing player leadership. According to the union, the WNBPA generated over $2.5 million in revenue from group licenses in 2024, and revenue topped $10 million in 2025. And that's all got to do with the different licenses that we've seen. If you see different merch that has that WNBPA logo on it somewhere, then you know, sports cards, etc., then you know that's officially licensed by the Players Union, blah, blah, blah. I think they turned a profit. If I'm understanding all of this, and it's always been my understanding that the league would have had to have turned a profit. At what level, we don't know, but would have had to turn a profit in order for these revenue sharing bonuses to finally trigger. Looks like they finally triggered. And I would very much assume, because they're not wanting to put it rightfully so, not wanting to put expansion fees in the league's income for the new CBA that they're negotiating. So I doubt it would have had to have been outside of the expansion fees, whatever income came in that did not include that. Huh. Interesting. That is interesting. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, and I'm already seeing it, see, we told you they were making money. 1 damn year. 1 year is what we're talking about here. 1 year. And I'm going to be interested to see the owner's response to this. Are they going to release the figures? And if they did turn a profit, how pathetic is it going to end up being? All right? Because, I mean, what's to owners that have put all this money into owning franchises, what do you hope your return's going to be? Right? If you own a team, I would assume you'd want to make at least what, $10 million profit off that team, I would think. Something that makes it worth your investment and worth your time. And the headache. Good God, the headache. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.